Salutations fam, this is Arim from Haltessiagaming, and in today's video, I've got a deck profile that has been pretty highly requested. Um, we've got Branded Blue Eyes. I took this to a tournament yesterday, and I ended up going undefeated. I played against the Branded deck for the majority of the time, the tournament actually. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So just a disclaimer about this deck and just my kind of general thoughts on it. So there's another branded deck that I've been playing. I've been playing branded Eldritch Dogmatica. I'm gonna upload a deck profile on that because I think that deck is like ridiculously strong. But when I initially built like the first draft of this deck, I didn't really like it because it felt like I was just playing a worse version of that deck. And ultimately, what I ended up doing was, instead of trying to like build the branded Eldritch Dogmatica deck and like put the Blue Eyes engine into that deck and like, you know, take out the Eldritch stuff and like take out the other engines and like put in the Blue Eyes cards, I actually went the different approach. And I took my old Fusion Control build and I basically just put Branded Fusion into that deck, and it worked out so much better. But yeah, this deck is, I want to say like it has a much higher ceiling than the other Branded deck, in that like if your engines go off, like you're pretty much never losing the game, because like it's so hard to deal with like Jet Dragon and the branded stuff, and it gives you so much stronger of a grind game. And like Jet Dragon is just such an impactful card, having that destruction protection, having that floating, it coming back every turn. Like if your opponent makes like DPE, the fact that like Jet Dragon kind of blanks DPE, the fact that it blanks Guardian Chimera, like it blanks so many cards, the fact that like Lubellion can like shuffle back your banished resources, the fact that Ultimate Fusion shuffles back your resources so you can just kind of loop each other. But yeah, it's like the deck actually felt pretty strong, but I don't know, I might need to play it a bit more. But another thing about like this deck compared to like the other deck is that you can't really fit hand traps into this deck, because in order for the Blue Eyes engine to be good, you have to like play it in like a actual like Blue Eyes deck. You can't really like just kind of splash a small Blue Eyes engine into like another deck, or at least in the concept of like a control deck anyway. Like if you're playing like a combo deck, then like yeah, it works out. But like in control decks, I've found that like if I'm playing a control deck with a small Blue Eyes engine, a lot of times I just break on the Blue Eyes cards. But it's like if you're playing like an actual Blue Eyes deck, drawing the Blue Eyes cards isn't bad because you can use them. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the deck profile. Starting off with the main deck, I'm playing 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is kind of a, you know, kind of something that's pretty standard for a lot of my lists. I don't really want to draw this card, but I do want to be able to like summon it from the deck and like have it in rotation. But yeah, just 2. And then we have 2 copies of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon. This card is exceptional. I like playing 3 of it, but because of all the other stuff I'm playing in the deck, I actually found that like it was pretty easy to get 2 in rotation with things like Branded Fusion, with Dragon Ravine. It's like it's very easy to get this in rotation. So 2 has been fine. You just don't open it as much, but it's like it's fine. And then we got 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. You very rarely link this off into Link Kariba as your starting play, but it is nice to have that option. Most of the time you're using it to like, you know, like maintain card advantage on like your discard effects, things like Lubellion effect, things like Albaz effect, things like Dragon Ravine. This is basically, you know, what keeps you in the game, because you know it is discard father itself, and then it like gives you another discard the next turn because it'll add back a Blue Eyes that you can then discard again. Then we got 2 copies of Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I would play 3, but I'm just like really strapped for space in this deck. I had a choice between like playing either all the power cards and like the engine cards, or like playing hand traps, and I decided to just, you know, load up on the engine cards and things like that, and like the power cards. Lord of the Heavenly Prison, being able to set any spell trap from the deck, it's ridiculous. It's so strong. The Heavenly Prison set Nadir for next turn. Yeah, it's really strong. And then we have the 1 copy of Fallen of Albaz. So the reason I'm playing one copy of Fallen of Malbaz is because I can shuffle it back with both Lubellion and Ultimate Fusion. So in a scenario where, you know, like the Albion gets impermed or something like that, right? I get to shuffle it back potentially with an Ultimate Fusion. So it's like, and also you can add it back off of Nadir too. That's something that doesn't come up very often, but it is possible. So it's like I didn't dislike having just one copy. It was fine. And then we got one copy of Ecclesia. This is part of the Dogmatica engine. And then continue with the Dogmatica engine, we have the one Fleur-de-Lis. You know, one of the things that I like about this deck is that, like, you know, Ash is once per turn. So it's like, what are you going to lose to? It's like, if you Ash, you know, Dragon Ravine, you lose to Brand Diffusion. You Ash Brand Diffusion, you lose to Nadir. You know, it's just like, you can't Ash everything. And that's, you know, one of the things I like about this deck a lot. And then moving on to the spells, we got triple copies of Dragon Ravine. I've been asked in the past why I play this over Dragon Shrine. It's because this is a field spell. If I establish this, then I get to have access to my Blue Eyes engine every single turn. So it's like every single turn I'll be able to send another stone or send Jet Dragon or whatever, right? So it's just always in rotation. And, you know, that's just something I really like about the Dragon Ravine compared to, like, Dragon Shrine. And then 3 copies of the reason to play this deck. 3 copies of Branded Fusion. Oh my goodness, this card is so strong. I definitely underestimated how powerful this card was. Yeah, I didn't realize how ridiculous it was being able to, or rather, I understood the concept of, like, you know, using it as Foolish Burial, but I didn't realize, you know, how you can just fuse away the Albion on board. So, like, you don't lose your graveyard resources. Like, you just go Branded Fusion, send Albaz plus, like, a Stone of Ancients or a Blue Eyes or a Jet Dragon or whatever, right? And then when you use Albion, you just fuse away the Albion into Lubellion. So you still keep those resources in the grave. And it's just, it's so ridiculously powerful. But yeah, then we got 2 copies of Nadir. You can only ash one. If you ash Dragon Ravine, use Brand Diffusion. You lose. If you ash Brand Diffusion, you lose to Nadir. It's just, you can't stop everything. And then we got 1 copy of Bingo Machine Go. This is just that extra copy of everything, ties everything together. I like being able to set this off of True Light to then search Ultimate Fusion on my turn if I had to, like, use the effect to summon a Blue Eyes to, like, block an attack or something. And then we got 1 copy of Fusion Deployment. This is in here because sometimes you lock yourself out of the extra deck with Dogmatica Punishment. And I want to be able to still have a follow-up next turn. Being able to Punishment send Chimera Felicia instead of, like, an Albion or something. Search this, and then I get to summon a Blue Eyes next turn. So it's like, even though I'm locked out of my extra deck, I'm still, like, applying pressure and playing the game. And then we have 2 copies of Ultimate Fusion. Just 2 because I can set it off of True Light. And I'm usually not resolving this a whole bunch of times, but it's just, I like having the option of it. Being able to use it as disruption to pop cards, being able to use it to dodge, like, you know, like DD Crow and Call By or whatever, being able to shuffle back my Albazes and things like that. That's something I really like about it. And, you know, Tyrant Dragon's a pretty strong card. And then we have 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talents. Yeah, this card is exceptional. It's just one of the most versatile cards in the format, and it's kind of baffling to me that this card isn't being played in a format where everyone's maining like 12 hand traps or whatever. So yeah, I just really like Triple Tactics Talents, the versatility of it. It just kind of adds to the whole you can only ask me one time. If I already have like a Nadir or a Branded Fusion or whatever in my hand, I can just, you know, look at my opponent's hand and like take something out of it. That's won me games a lot of times. Like, I've used each of these effects to win the game, and it's the fact that you get to choose which effect that's what makes it so good in my opinion. Because, you know, sometimes I'll draw, like, I think one time I got ashed on my starter, and then I attacked and then I drew Nadir, so it's like I still won the game anyway. I had a game where actually in finals, I won the game in finals literally because I was like Dragon Ravine, pitch I think like a Blue Eyes or a Jet, and then he ashed the Dragon Ravine, and I was like, cool, tactics, effect to take, and I took his Mirror Jade. I went Mirror Jade effect, send Albion for cost, and then I banished his Quertus, right? And then I normal summoned Stone of Ancients, linked off into Dark effect, special summon his Mirror Jade back to my field again, and then when he went to the branded and red line, I went Mirror Jade effect, sent Titaniclad, banished his Mirror Jade so it's no longer in rotation, and then Chimera had to pop the Dark, which was the only thing on board, and then I got to search off the Dark. And then in the end phase, like the Stone triggered, the Albion triggered, and the Titaniclad triggered. It was so ridiculous. But yeah, 3 copies of Tactics, like it's a really good card. And then we got the 1 copy of Called by the Grave. So the mindset I had with this deck wasn't necessarily about like, you know, stopping my opponent from playing and like stopping them from building a board, but more so just like I'm going to just play through the interruption. And that's why, you know, I have like a lot more engine cards, a lot more power cards, a lot more starters. I have like the tactics and everything. These are cards that are just going to like push my plays through and things like that. So it's like if I'm going first, you know, after you hand trap me, being able to like look at your hand so that the next starter goes through, or being able to draw into another starter and then like use that to like play the game, you know, and then like going second, be able to use like the effect to take, the effect to like, you know, draw cards and things, like just playing through the interruption. And then the last 2 cards, the last 2 spells are 2 copies of 2 copies of Super Polymerization. Yeah, this card's kind of silly right now. It's Super Poly just be like that, you know? It's just in a format where everyone's choosing something. This card is kind of good. It's so dumb, man. Yeah, the fact that it's a quick play as well is it's so stupid. But yeah, moving on to the trap cards, I'm playing 1 copy of Dogmatic of Punishment, so I have something else to search off of the Ecclesia. Let's say I draw the floor, I search Punishment, and this is just, you know, it's a very powerful trap card. Sometimes I will be in a situation where I just keep resetting this off of Tyrant. And then we have the only hand trap. We're playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence because this is a trap that you can reset off of Tyrant. It doesn't play into Call By, it doesn't play into Infinite Impermanence. I mean, not Infinite Impermanence, but Tactics. And it's just, you know, it's a good card, being able to imperm like Aliber, stop that. And it's just like, you can draw this as your 6th card as well. So it's like, it kind of, you know, also works with the whole, I'm not necessarily trying to stop you from building a board, but I want to just play through the board. And so like, this is a card that like, it's a hand trap, but it also allows you to like play through the board. And then, shout outs to that one guy who donated me $25 to buy my 3rd skill drain. Yeah, I've got 3 skill drain in here now. So 3 copies of skill drain. Yeah, that's actually what made me decide to like put branded Blue Eyes as a priority, because I'm gonna be real, I wasn't really gonna play this deck because I was just having so much fun with the other deck. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it for you, buddy, because you know, donated to help me get this 3rd skill drain. So I was like, let's go ahead and make branded Blue Eyes and see how I like it. I mean, skill drain is, you know, skill drain, bro. Like, it just wins you the game if your opponent can't play under it. And you know, that's actually something I like about this format, is that like the branded stuff can play under skill drain because they have like comedy and whatnot, being able to go activate effect, chain comedy, so it's not on the board getting negated anymore. And just in general, that's why I like skill drain in the format a lot more than cards like Imperial Order, because it's like you can play around skill drain. You can't really play around Imperial Order. It's like, yeah, and it's just like, I don't know. I actually didn't see skill drain like at all at the tournament yesterday. Like, I literally didn't see it like a single time, and I actually ended up siding it out a lot of the time. But I mean, you play it because it's like, it's a powerful card against like certain matchups. Just wins you the game. Like against Flunder, like it just wins the game. And then we got 3 copies of True Light. Yeah, being able to like set Ultimate Fusion, being able to set Bingo, being able to bring back Blue Eyes. This actually won me one of my games because I just had this set. And then like in the battle phase, I like attacked with a Mirror Jade and like Albion, and then I was like True Light, Special Blue Eyes, and I attacked for game. And yeah, being able to like have this while you have Jet in rotation is also really nice, because like this prevents them from like destroying this, so you don't really have to worry about like it nuking your board. And then also like Tyrant is like unaffected by the board nuke effects, and then like Tyrant just resets this, so you just like summon back all your stuff anyway. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the main deck. Now we move on to the extra deck. Yeah, you'll notice I wasn't playing extra because I wanted to play I'm playing an actual extra deck now, so I can't really play extra anymore. But it's like, you know, because I have tactics, I still do have like a draw spell. But anyway, going into the extra deck, We have the one copy of Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. You shuffle this back sometimes with Lubellion. You shuffle back the Albaz, like, you know, the Ultimate Fusion and like Lubellion kind of like loop each other. So it's like you just kind of keep your stuff in rotation. And then we have the one copy of Mirror Jade. Oh my gosh, this card's so strong, man. Like, it's so good having this card. The fact that it sends for cost in this deck is like, it's so stupid, man. I don't know what they were thinking. But yeah, this doesn't really need much to... Actually, I do want to bring something up real quick because I've noticed a lot of people seem to get this wrong, but this doesn't trigger in the end phase. This triggers when it leaves the field. So when it leaves the field, you have to declare the effect when it leaves the field. It resolves in the end phase to destroy. It's kind of like DPE. Where, you know, you have to declare the effect when it, like, you know, gets destroyed. With this, like, when it leaves the field, you have to declare the effect. And then it just resolves in the end phase to, like, destroy, you know, your opponent's board. Yeah, because, like, I noticed, like, so many people who didn't realize that, like, over the course of the event. And then we have the Titaniclad. I send this off of Nadir sometimes. Like, it's just, you know, you have those Albaz Fusion that you just send from the extra deck, and it's just like, your extra deck is just another resource for your, like, main deck and stuff like that. Yeah, like, one of the games, like, I think I talked about that already. But just, like, this being able to, like, special Ecclesia and then, like, search floor, it's, like, it's so good. And actually, the effect... to make it really big actually comes up because you just make this sometimes by, like, sending Albaz and Jet, and then Jet is in rotation, and then you, like, attack over something and Jet summons, and it's like, I've got a couple of OTKs off of that. And then we got the one copy of Lubellion. I kind of want to play 2 of this. I'm probably going to play 2 of this in the future if I play the deck more. It didn't come up this event because, you know, I was shuffling it back with the Ultimate Fusion if I needed to. But there definitely are some situations where, like, you want to be able to have a second one of this to be able to, like, shuffle your stuff back if the first one doesn't resolve. And then we got 2 copies of Albion. Yeah, this card is so good. Just fusion summons anything. This is usually what I'm going to be sending to grave off of my effects that send from the extra deck. Because, you know, it just searches Branded Fusion, gives you that follow-up. And then we have our Super Poly targets. We got 4 different Super Poly targets. I got Masquerade, the Blazing Dragon. I cannot tell you how many games I've won off of just, like, fusing away my opponent's board and then making the Despia players play under their Floodgate. And another thing I feel like I should bring up, because this actually was brought up because somebody didn't know this, but if you negate this and, like, it's still live if, like, the effect comes back on. So, like, if this card was fusion summoned, so as long as it's still a fusion summon card, the effect is still live. If you, like, Valor this, Valor only lasts till the end of the turn, and then at the end of the turn, it does come back on. Yeah, because it's like somebody didn't know that, so I just felt the need to, like, bring it up. Then we got the one Drago Stapelia, the one Starving Venom, the one Mud Dragon. This card actually comes up a lot. I was able to Super Poly Tri-Brigade because they ended on, like, Appaloosa Double Dragon Lords. I was able to Super Poly Plunder because they had, like, the Toad and the Blackbeard. Just, like, this being, like, you can kind of just Super Poly a lot of stuff in this format because of just this deck in general. And then we have Chimera Felicia. This is what you usually send off punishment if you want to have a follow-up. And, like, you know, sometimes I will send this off of Nadir. Being able to search Super Poly, be able to search Fusion Deployment, be able to search Branded Fusion. Just, you know, just another card that you can send that, like, you know, replaces itself in the end phase and, like, pluses you. Or, like, you know, it's also another Super Poly target because, you know, Verte is a Predaplant monster and Drago Stapelia is a Predaplant monster. So, yeah, this does come up sometimes. And then, like, so, like, in a situation where, like, my opponent went Verte and then, like, summoned, they went into Verte and they summoned, like, Mirror Jade and they still have Verte Mirror Jade. You can make this to kind of play around the fact that Mirror Jade is going to destroy your stuff in the end phase because this will die and then it replaces itself. So that's something I kind of like about it as well. And then I got the one copy of Entis. You know, Nadir sent Entis outs a lot of stuff. And then I'm playing 3 Link monsters, just 3. They don't usually come up because, you know, you're typically locking yourself into fusions. But I just like having the utility of the extra deck because sometimes it does come up and you're not locked into fusions. So I have the 1 Dark. This was the best card in my extra deck in finals. Dark Summon Mirror Jade. GG's. Like, it's so good. And then I have Lina as well because, you know, I didn't actually end up making this one, but, you know, similarly, you can go into this and like steal a Golden Lord against like Eldritch. And then like both of these, if they get destroyed, you get to search. So if this one gets destroyed, I search Albaz. If this one gets destroyed, I search Jet. I mean, you could also search Stone of Ancients, but I usually am not doing that. And then one of Link Karibo. I never actually linked into this because I never really needed to because, you know, Branded Fusion and you just have so much access to the Blue Eyes engine that this wasn't really something that came up a lot, but I do like having it as a one-up. I might cut the Lina in favor of like a Relinquished Anima because that also came up a couple of times, but I don't know. I like the extra deck, but it's just, this is probably the most cuttable card. And I'm probably going to play like a second Lubellion, but yeah, on to the side deck. You know what the first card is because it's pretty much always the first card. It is a Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Yeah, you side this in going second. Doesn't really need much introduction. Then we got 2 copies of Lava Golem. I liked having something that I could use to out specifically DPE that doesn't like trigger the DPE. So it's like I like having this. In addition to Super Poly, this is typically how I'm dealing with DPE. And then I have 3 Super Poly targets. I have the 1 Proskinian, the 1 Weather Washer, and the 1 Mad Golden Lord. I side these in if I played against those matchups. This is just like to help you kill the Despia matchup a lot harder. But yeah, just 3 Super Poly targets, 3 copies of Dino Miscus. I side this in against Eldritch usually. I like being able to banish the Floodgates, but more specifically, I like being able to banish the Golden Lord. And this is just another way to do that, to like cut off their engine. Then we got 3 copies of Judgment. I never actually ended up siding this in. I might, you know, cut this and play something else. I'm not sure, but it's just, you know, I do want to play it because I'm like deathly afraid of evenly matched. But I might just like end up playing something else, like maybe play like Lancia or something. I don't know. But yeah, Judgment never came in. I might replace this with Lancia. And then speaking of evenly match, the last 3 cards are 3 copies of evenly match because this card is insane, this format. But a lot of people are just not playing it. A lot of people are playing like Lightning Storm and like Twin Twisters and Duster and things like that, which I appreciate because I'm playing Jet Dragon and Heavenly Prison. But it's just like, I'm definitely afraid of this card because if this resolves, I kind of just lose the game. But yeah, that's going to be it for the deck profile. I went undefeated. I won all but one of my matches 2-0 because I bricked. I opened like Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, and no way to like get any of them in the graveyard. So I was just like, well, I can't play. But yeah, the deck did perform very well, and that's just like kind of the thing about like the Blue Eyes variant, that in comparison to like the other deck I was playing, which is Branded Eldritch, is that like this deck has a this deck has a much higher power ceiling, but it does kind of suffer from those consistency issues where it's like if you get to play, you're probably going to win the game, but you're going to like lose like a game or 2 over the course of like a long event because you bricked. And it's just like the other variant is just much more consistent, even if it is a little bit less powerful. But the deck was definitely still strong. It's like you don't brick like a lot, like because a lot of things have to go wrong. Like you have, like let's actually just count real quick. How many different starters are there? There's a Nadir, Branded, sometimes this, to be honest. Oh yeah, and the Heavenly Prisons, because they can set anything. So yeah, like this, you see this pile of cards? You have to like not draw any of these cards. You see this? This is like literally half the deck. You have to just not see any of this in order to break in this deck. And it's like, yeah, that can happen, but it's not happening very often. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the deck profile. Actually, I've had people like ask about where's the side deck. So typically when I'm siding, a thing that I was doing like a lot, like if I'm going second, I might take out the Heavenly Prisons, the Skill Drains. If I'm depending on the matchup, I might take out Super Poly, maybe Imperm, maybe Call by. Tactics pretty much almost always stayed in, but like theoretically, if you were playing against a set 5 deck, you might take out Tactics as well. But against the Mirror, right, I'm bringing in like the Evenly, bringing in the like if I'm playing against DP, I want to have Dynamis because I want to get the DP out of rotation. Lava Golem as well would usually come in. A very common side that I was doing like most of the day was like I would side in these 6 cards, right? I would side in the, not the Dynamiscus. That's only if I'm going first. I would side in the Dynamiscus, but I would side in like these 6 cards. I would side in like the Evenlies, the Lava Golems, and the Pank. If I'm going second and it's like I want to be able to just kind of out their stuff without having to interact with it. You don't really need your normal summon, and you rarely do normal summon in this deck. So it's like the fact that Lava Golem takes your normal summon usually doesn't matter. A lot of times the side will be something like this, maybe. Like I'll take these out to put in those 6 cards. Or like, you know, maybe I change like the hand trap lineup in like the Super Poly. Because if I'm playing against like, say, I don't know, Flunder, Super Poly's not really doing anything. So I side out the Super Polys. But yeah, that's like a very, very basic gist of it. Dino-Miscus and like the Evenly's come in against the back row. Judgments come in if I'm going first and I feel like they're going to like try and hit me with like an Evenly match or like a blowout card. Obviously we side the Super Poly targets. In the extra deck, the Super Poly targets are Mud Dragon, Starving Venom, like these 4. So if I'm like not playing against Despia, I'm playing against Frankis, this will come out for the for like the Weather Washer, for example. If I'm playing against Eldritch, this comes out for the Golden Lord. If I am playing against Despia, I might take out I don't know, I might take out like Lina for the Proskinian. I never actually sided in the Proskinian. But like just in theory, those are like what you would side. And did I get my stuff mixed up? I think I did. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. This is the main deck. And just to oh, my phone's about to like run out of battery, so let me make this quick. All right, we're just gonna do one hand. Now watch, it's gonna be a hand where we open like triple blue eyes. Oh, we're good. Ugh. I mean, this hand's still playable, but it's just all blue eyes cards. I mean, this is like double jet. This double jet plus like ultimate fusion. Or like you would summon blue eyes jet, so you have the ultimate fusion live to like break a board or something like that. And then you have jet in rotation. Oh, wait, actually, you're getting to summon 3 blue eyes here. Yeah, you're getting to summon blue eyes plus triple double jet, because you normal the stone, link it off for Link Karibo, then Dragon Beam pits the stone, send another stone, and then you can summon 2 jets and a blue eyes in the end phase with True Light and Ultimate Fusion set. And then you can True Light set the other Ultimate Fusion so you have another follow-up next turn as well. And then like Ultimate Fusion summons Tyrant by like popping a card as well, and it's just like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. And that's why we play Link Karibo, because sometimes it comes up. Tactics, Ultimate Fusion, Branded Fusion, Heavenly Prison, and Blue Eyes White Dragon. Okay, that's not terrible. So obviously, actually no, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go Lord of the Heavenly Prison, because if some people are playing Gamma, and if they Gamma you here, you get to Tactics them. So I'll Heavenly Prison, let's say they like Gamma this or something, right? Cool, you Gamma the Heavenly Prison. Well, now I'm safe to go Branded Fusion, or maybe like they might have Ash, and if they have Ash, then you Tactics draw too. But like, assuming they don't have Ash, send Albaz, send a Stone, and then you summon Albion. Albion, you would where's my extra deck? Am I blind? I might be blind. Here's my extra deck. So that's the grave. Summon Albion. Albion effect. I'll banish these two. Right? So this is in the grave. Oh yeah, these are banished. These are banished. This is the grave. Right? So Albion effect, banish those two. Summon Lubellion. Lubellion effect, ditch the blue eyes that's in hand. So that the jet will be live. And shuffle back the Albaz and the Albion. Right? Shuffle these back. This is back in the deck. And then you will summon the Mirror Jade. Right? You summon the Mirror Jade. And then you get to, because they gamma the Heavenly Prison, we can get to go Tactics, draw 2. Right? We get to Tactics, draw 2. And let's see if we draw into some other stuff. But if they ash it, cool. I mean, honestly, if they had ash, they would have ashed the Brand Diffusion. But we're going to draw 2 cards. And we drew Jet and Fleur-de-Lis. That's not terrible. So we go ahead and set the Ultimate Fusion. Stone effect in the end phase. We're going to summon a Blue Eye so that the Ultimate Fusion is a live disruption. If they didn't have the gamma or whatever, like let's say we didn't end up using this, right? And we didn't draw those 2 cards. We just have this in hand. The Branded Fusion is still, I mean, the Heavenly Prison's live. And now when we activate the Ultimate Fusion, we get to just set like Nadir or Branded Fusion or whatever from the deck. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, end the video here. This has been Darkslayer Arim from Haltessiagaming. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. The return of the button. The return of the button.